Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven, and this is the Storytime channel. Today we have some entitled parent stories, and our first story of the day is by Sadie C. Entitled parent gets mad when I cut contact because he lied about having a son. Hello, I wanted to share an entitled parent story that happened a couple of years ago, and this crap still irks me to this day. When I, 20-year-old female, was 18, I downloaded a couple dating apps as I wanted to find a potential lifelong partner. But what kind of luck can you get on someplace like Tinder since everyone wants to pump and dump? I met a few people here and there that I was and wasn't fond with, until I met a guy who I instantly clicked with. We all had the same interests in movies, pop culture, dining, music, and other fun activities. Obviously, to a lovesick young woman, he was the one I wanted to be with and possibly date. We had a fair share of meetups. He always treated me so respectfully and showed me nothing but kindness. I was falling in love with him day by day. After a while, he wanted to bring me over to his place to play video games and hang out. I obviously accept, and he comes to pick me up soon after. Car ride is fun, nice convos, and we finally get back to his house. Now, an important note here is that I state in person and in my bio that I am child-free and don't intend on being a step-parent or bio-mother, as I don't feel that I'd ever be a good role model or influence on kids, as I still need to work on myself. He opens the door, and what I saw with my own eyes made all my guts sink to my butt. You know that feeling of being really excited to do something and it gets screwed over last second? That feeling. There were Hot Wheel tracks scattered over, one of those fake automatic cars for kids, and tons of superhero action figures. Obviously, these items aren't for a grown adult, so I had to ask him, whose toys are those? The entitled dad goes, "Oh, those are my son's toys. He's just at his mother's at the moment and won't be back till the evening." Wait, so you're telling me you had a son this whole time and you didn't have the guts to tell me? Why would you lie? "I didn't think it'd be that big of a deal as my son isn't a brat and is well behaved. It's not like you have to see him." Me slowly starting to pack my bag. I apologize, but I stated that I don't want kids in my bio for a reason. I honestly think it's gross that you would lie about your child's existence to your potential girlfriends. "Don't be a stuck-up witch, he's just a kid." Yeah, a kid who's gonna grow up confused and is gonna wonder why he grew up with a different mother every month. The only victim here is your son. I truly hope you find a woman who will love him to the center of the universe, because what you're doing is freaked up and it's just gonna cause issues in the long run. And you don't have to see him? So basically you're telling me that you're a deadbeat too? "Yeah, whatever. I don't need your TED talk. Just get the freak out of my house." I don't need you to tell me. Was already planning on it. I took the bus home as I didn't want to be in the car with him and blocked every bit of his social media in case he wanted to contact me again. Please, single parents who share custody with their kids, don't lie to the childless about your son or daughter when you want to date again. There will always be that one person willing to give your children the world. You just have to take it slow. Let me ask you guys, if you were going through a preliminary stage of a potential dating situation with somebody, and on the surface they seemed completely perfect, they were fulfilling all your needs, they made you laugh, it just seemed to click very, very well, but then as soon as you got back to their house, you found out they had a surprise kid that they never told you about. Would that ruin the whole thing right then and there for you, or would you be willing to take that chance? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Mental Package 5. My parents threatened to take away my door because I don't want one of our dogs sleeping in my room. So as the title says, my parents just threatened to take away my door. I went upstairs to take my meds and get my dog for bedtime. My mom wanted me to take our smallest and most annoying dog to bed with me. I politely declined and said that I would rather not. She insisted and I declined again. It only escalated from there. She doesn't want him sleeping with her and my stepdad because the dog touches her all night. I don't want him sleeping with me because he keeps me awake and wakes me up in the middle of the night, something he doesn't do with them. I've told them before, but they don't care. They said that if I don't take him, they'll take my door while I'm at my dad's and throw it out so that I can't have it back. I have severe anxiety, tons of mental illnesses on both sides of the family, and my privacy is what keeps me sane. They know this and still threatened to take my door. I think this is absolutely crazy. Every person is entitled to have an actual door on their bedroom. And in fact, I'm willing to bet that's something that child welfare services would definitely frown at. I'm not saying it has to go there, but if they take away your door and there's no other recourse, you need to do what you need to do because you need to have a door. You need privacy. This next story is by Lady Mayhem. Please, sir, stop dangling your baby over the shark tank. So I was inspired by the not petting zoo post from earlier to write up my own experiences of working as a seasonal temp at a sea life center in England. This happened the year before I started uni. So I'm 18 and I've just moved to a new city to be with my, now thankfully, ex-boyfriend. And I'm looking for whatever job I can get. I see an ad for a job at the local Sea Life Center, a chain of aquariums across the UK, for someone to do talks to the punters and such. I've been in theater groups since I could walk, so I think, great, I can learn scripts and talk about fish, and managed to get a 6-week seasonal job over the October half term and leading up to Christmas. About 50% of my job is doing these talks for school groups about the otters, the sea turtles, the Finding Nemo exhibit, and so on. 15% is cleaning the outside of the tanks. 5% is dressing up in the giant otter mascot suit and getting kicked to shreds by toddlers at birthday parties. And 30% was sitting freezing my butt off at the touch pool, a simulated rock pool with crabs and sea anemones the kids could touch, situated right above the constantly open front door and directly across from the open-topped black-tipped reef shark and moonray tank, and Basil the bottom-feeding bamboo shark. He was my favorite. That's right, I said open-topped, with around 1.3 meter glass sides, filled with water, sharks, and stingrays. I kid you not, the number of parents I had to ask to not dangle their babies or toddlers over the 1 meter deep water was ridiculous. At least 3 a day, probably rising to 10 or 12 on the busy weekends. The parents were not impressed by my adherence to basic common sense. I got thrown incredulous looks, angry retorts, the lot. The crowning glory, though, was the dad who informed me, "It's fine, you can just jump in there after them." Dude, I am a 5'2" minimum wage worker. You could not pay me to jump in shark-infested water to save your baby that you just dropped. Sorry, not sorry. The job was kind of terrible, to be honest, and the lunchroom was right next to the very smelly quarantine area. I was very happy to leave at the end of my contract. I just want to know who the brainiac is that allows this open-topped aquarium thing filled with sharks and stingrays to be accessible. I don't think that should ever fly. Why has that not been shut down and like a grate or something put over the top or a glass top like a long time ago? Our next story is by Charnutter. You can't eat that. I'm on a diet. So a little context, my mother, 50, started a diet yesterday. She's on the Slim Fast diet, which I personally don't agree with. So yesterday I was working in my room, yay uni work. So before I knew it, it was 1:30 in the afternoon and I was hungry. So I put myself a garlic bread in. Context over. Mother says, "You better not be having a pizza for lunch." I say, "But I am." "I'm on a diet, you can't eat that in here. I stopped my boyfriend from eating his crisps in here earlier because it's not fair," meaning our living room. I say, "Fine, I'll eat in my room." So I put my garlic bread in, waited for the timer to go off, then ate my garlic bread in my room. She was salty for the rest of the day. Sorry it's not long, but I do have some other short stories involving my mother, if you want them. I kind of understand where she's coming from, and the only reason why is because she's dieting and she doesn't want that temptation around. That said, it's completely unfair to force a diet upon somebody else just because you want to diet a specific way. And our final story of the day is by Responding Arthur. Teacher gives unnecessary warnings to everyone except her little daughter. Backstories and some explanations. This was around 4 years ago, and my school has some levels of warnings as such. Low priority, talking in class if the teacher didn't say you could. Medium priority, if you didn't do more than 20% of the homework. Mid-high, homework not assigned and those things. And high, harassment and fights in class. That usually happens. The day before that, the teacher gave us a 20-question homework. A lot for just one day because there wasn't just her homework. So let's jump into the story. 5 minutes before her class, me and classmate 1 and classmate 2 were talking about some group project that was needed to be done in class. Then the entitled teacher comes and the conversation was something like, "Alright class, open your book at page so-and-so and I will check if you did it." Everyone opens. I was the closest one to the teacher and I hated it. Entitled teacher sees homework all done, except that one question. "You didn't do that question, huh?" I say yes, but every other one is done. Sweats intensify. Entitled teacher thinks a little, goes to her table to get the warnings block. "Sign here," points to mid-high warning part. Classmate 1 says, but he just didn't do one question. The school rule says it needs to be at least 20% to be low. "How about you? Did you do it?" Everyone starts sweating because no one did that specific question. Classmate says, "No." Entitled teacher breathes, "Who didn't do that question?" Everyone raises their hands, including her daughter. Entitled teacher breathes again, "Everyone will sign in here and..." I don't know why, but I cut her off. "We didn't do just one question, that is not fair." Entitled teacher says, "You will sign again." Points to the high priority here for harassing the teacher. 10 to 15 classmates say, "What?" And everyone who says otherwise will do the same. At this point, I'm almost crying, because medium priority plus calls your parents to the school and 2 high priorities get you sent out of the school. I never had one, but I was scared to have one. Everyone signed up to mid-high, including her daughter. Then after that, she read the block and erased one line. Then, entitled teacher points to me screaming, "You will assume your actions and send it to the principal." I was defeated, but when I was handed the block, I saw all my classmates' names except her daughter. Then I said, loud, then passed from table to table showing everyone because I had nothing to lose, "Why does entitled child have her name erased from here?" Entitled teacher with the biggest poker face ever, "Because she did it." I say, "Can I see it?" Entitled teacher and entitled child say, "No." I rushed to entitled child's table, grabbed her book, and guess what? It wasn't done either. I knew exactly what to do. I say, "I will go to the principal, but I will take this book with me." Rushes to the class door and then exited. When I was in the principal's office, principal says, "What's wrong?" She saw that I was almost crying. "And why do you have entitled child's book?" I say, "Entitled teacher said to everyone, sign the block," points to the block with 31 names, "but we didn't do just one question." The principal reads all my classmates' names, then realizes, "Give me that book." Then she opens the book in the first page and there is in bold letters, entitled child's name, 5th grade. The principal says, "Give me that block and call your teacher." I didn't even say okay, entitled teacher was in the door. "Call his parents now." The principal says, "Don't scream please, and you are the wrong person here. OP, you can leave. Call entitled child for me too." While I was going back to the classroom, I heard entitled teacher saying that I robbed her daughter and some things like that. Then when I went to class, I said, "Entitled child, mommy is calling. I think you should go there." 30 minutes later, the principal came and said, "You will have a break earlier today." Then when I went home, I tell everything for my parents and my mom said, "You should call me to show your teacher my style." The next day I was absent because my brother was sick in the hospital, so everything here classmate 1 told me. There was an emergency parents meeting for that after the class. Classmate 2 says, "Hi teacher." Entitled teacher angry says, "Hi." Classmate 2 says, "How are you today?" "I'm fine because I know I did the right thing and right choices." Bruh. Classmate 2 says, "You sure?" Entitled teacher breathes deeply 3 times. "Yes." Classmate 2 says, "Okay." But I almost unlocked the bad ending. 2 months later was the honor celebration, a party the school does to mention people that earned something with that school that year. I was one of them. The principal said, "The silver and only medalist of the National Astronomical Olympics was me, yay." Entitled child screaming, "He cheated." Principal says, "Can someone confirm this?" Some guy in the middle of nowhere saved me, saying, "Entitled child, can you please shut the freak up? Everyone knows you are jealous because he earned something and you never do." That hit her hard. The principal says, "So let's continue. Opie, come here." I never met this guy. I wish I could see him once. These kinds of people should just not be a teacher. They're just not well equipped enough to handle relationships between children and what their needs are. And not even really just that, but like they're just needlessly angry and confrontational. Nobody needs to be hardly disciplined because they didn't do one question. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which story and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like, and if you haven't, subscribe and turn notifications on so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you do, whether it's just viewing the video, liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, I appreciate the heck out of it. Every little thing that you do helps the channel grow that much more, and I can't thank you enough for it. So, until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll be right here next time on the Storytime channel.